Anthony and Chris at Activate Robots have a very interesting exhibition right here. What are we looking at? What is this robot doing here?
So Sawyer is one of the new breed of robots called collaborative robots. They're safe to be around people. Ours are remarkable in other ways in that anybody can train them to do meaningful tasks. You don't need an engineering degree, you don't need a big certification course. You walk up, you show the robot what to do, and it does it back for you.
So how do you manage to make it so user-friendly?
So a lot of that is actually in the software. I mean, underneath its core, it's a robot like any other type of robot. There's some specifics in the mechanics and the design to make it safe around people. But really, it's all about software. And so we took all of the complicated stuff that usually customers, manufacturers have to do with robots to get them to do meaningful things, and we sort of hidden that behind the curtain and made a user interface that if you can use an iPad or an Android phone, you can teach one of these robots how to do something.
Okay, so what kind of industries and products do you think will be interested in your technology here? I'll send this on to you, Anthony.
Yeah, well, most industries, anywhere where you've got an application where you want to kit something or pack something or handle some materials, you can use one of these robots. And as Chris said, it's a new chapter in robotics where they're very easy to integrate and set up as opposed to, traditional industrial robots which take a lot of guarding and time to create a work cell.
So how long has it taken you to create this technology for Activate Robots?
So this technology started about 5 years ago in Boston by Rodney Brooks. He's the former co-founder of iRobot. And he left there to make this new type of robot for manufacturers all over the world.
Very nice. It looks fascinating. It can really put you in a bit of a trance when watching this, actually. The precision on it is just phenomenal. Were you toying with other things apart from golf balls for it to pick up? There must have been a few fun experiments here, right?
Absolutely. And actually, later on today, we'll have some examples from the electronics industry, from metal fabrication, from other types of packaging industries. So we'll be rotating the demo out throughout the day.
Fantastic. Very nice. So are you here for the full 3 days?
Indeed, yes. We'll be here all week.
Excellent. And what are you hoping to get from your time at the NEC?
Hopefully to get in front of customers who have a need to take away the repetitive, dull work from their operators, put them on higher value stuff, and put these affordable robots to work in the factory.
Very nice. And is it your first time exhibiting here as well?
Yeah, first time here.
First time here, excellent. Well, I wish you all the success here, and let's just take a little closer look, shall we, at the technology that we have here. And what are the applications for this? What other objects can it pick up?
So we see Sawyer used across a number of different industries, as Anthony said, a lot of machine tending. So if you have CNC lathes, if you have electronic tests, electronic components that need to get tested or post-assembly. We also see simple things like packaging and material handling. So when you walk through manufacturers' factories, you see a lot of people sitting there doing non-value-added work. They could be doing something more valuable, more interesting for them, but somebody has to pack the box. Somebody has to make sure the components are tested before they go out to the customer. So this robot is designed to help those people do more meaningful jobs and take all the boring or maybe ergonomically stressful work off of their backs.
Nice, so very much in the interest of the user, which is good to hear. Tell me a little bit about the values behind the company, because you said it started in Boston, right?
It did, yeah. So started in Boston, and we're all about trying to bring this kind of automation to the masses. So traditionally, automation's been very powerful for what it does, but it's been a bit restricted because of the cost and the time and the expertise needed to put it to work. This kind of automation where you can train it simply by showing it what to do is really meant for companies large and small. So we see a lot of customers where this is the first type of automation they've ever owned because they can actually use it and afford it.
Absolutely. And perhaps, Anthony, could you tell us a little bit about the machine that we have behind us here? If we take a little step back, and just because it's quite interesting, we have a pair of eyes which makes it feel a little bit more engaging, I suppose, to the average user.
The face is there to break down the barrier between the user and the robot, so it hasn't got that intimidation, And this is the first in a family of collaborative robots, which is very easy to program and you can work alongside it, and it's safe to be around. So, it's a lot easier for people to empathize with the robot and create tasks and behaviors than it is with, industrial type robots.
And this looks like the same technology as the machine behind us, but in a slightly different setup, right?
So this is a dual arm robot. It's the first in a generation of collaborative robots. And there's a lot of these in manufacturing and in education. And this is a robot with more precision, and it has a variety of other uses that you can use it with.
And it looks like quite a user-friendly interface as well on the screen I can see here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more of an intuitive type of display where you can create new tasks very simply. And so you don't need any programming knowledge, you don't need to be an expert. And normally it takes about 15 or 20 minutes for a user to get up and running with a robot.
Wow, that's really quick, 15 to 20 minutes. That's really impressive. And it looks like it's not too difficult to get around either, being on wheels.
So you can have these without a pedestal, you can put them on your own fixture, but you can get it with a pedestal as we've got here, and you can mobilize it, so you can move it around to different applications. And you can have a little code on your application that the robot recognizes, and then it knows to perform that task. So you can use it in various applications throughout your factory.
Will it be taking a walk around the NEC today, do you think?
For safety reasons, we're not going to do that, but we do know people who've got the robots mobilized in other situations.
So why is it important to have such simple to use controls on here? Because it looks like it's very straightforward, doesn't it? And it makes things much easier for the user.
Well, really, because we want everybody on the shop floor to be able to work with the robot. So, if you've got somebody at the end of a packaging line or whatever the application is, they can get up and running with it. You don't need to have a robotics degree or know about programming, Anybody, including a presenter, could use one of these.
Oh, is that a challenge? Perhaps you could talk me through how, as someone who has never, ever interacted with a robot, what the first steps would be in programming one of these babies.
Over to you, Chris.
I get a pass in the buck there, nice. So Chris, talk me through it. What would I initially do?
Sure thing. So one of the first things you do is you just grab it by the wrist, all right?
Easy enough.
Squeeze.
All right.
And if you start to move the arm around, you'll start to feel that it's going to work for you, actually.
It is very mobile, actually. It doesn't feel like a strain or a struggle to move it. It's very light, in fact.
Exactly. So we're using the motors, actually, to make it more ergonomic for the folks who need to use it. And you use these dials on the arm here. Just scroll through. Now, if I want to come over here and set up a new task, now if I look at the screen, the face where those eyes were, it now doubles as my training interface. Right, so I don't need a laptop, I don't need a second screen. Everything I can do is right here on the robot. So if I want to do something simple like come over here and show it through a range of motions, you see every time I click, he's nodding for me. And that's for me, so I know that he's heard what I've wanted him to do.
Very responsive. So finally, this looks fascinating, but let's find out, why is it so important for you to be here at Drives and Controls?
So for us, this is a great show which brings together a lot of different industries which are looking to take a next step in their business, help their bottom line, and improve the operations for their workers, maximize their efficiency. And that's why we're here, and we hope to have a lot of great conversations here at Drives and Controls.
Excellent. Well, Chris, Anthony, thank you very much for your time. Do make sure that you pay them a visit here and look at the fascinating technology.